back to the channel. And today we are going to start standing, which is a little bit different, I know, but let's go with it, eh? So we're going to start in a wide-legged stance. So you want to sort of have your heels a little bit further out than your toes slightly inwards. I'm just going to take a nice fold. Just going to stretch into those hamstrings. You may want to come from left to right with your torso, breathing into it as you do. Try to feel into the body. Now begin to pivot the feet so they're facing more straight forward, maybe a little bit out, and we're just going to keep the hands down. Just going to start rocking into the hips a little bit. So coming more into one leg and then the other. Just trying to rock it all out. And as you do so, you might want to come over to the left and you lift your right foot up. Coming over to the right, lift your left foot up. Just getting a little bit deeper, swinging into the hips. Try to feel how your body is feeling right now, because where we start this class today is where we're going to also finish this class today. So see if you can notice any difference between now and the end of the class. Just take a couple more. You may want to take your hands off the ground, stay low, and come over to the other side. You can keep your hands to the ground as well. That's perfectly fine. Come back to center. Take that forward fold once again. Heel toe the feet in, and we're just going to sit down in a nice low squat. So you can wrap the mat, put it under your heels if you need to. If you really want, you can have your heels up just a little bit, but just bring the chest through. Pull your triceps into your knees into your triceps to broaden the chest. Sink the hips. You sort of want to have your toes and your knees pointing the same way, but I like to have my feet splayed open. It helps with my hips and my ankles. So your toes are pointing out, your heels are slightly in. And place your left hand to the ground. Sort of pull your left knee into your left tricep. Extend your right arm up to the sky, gazing up. Place your right hand down on your inhale, on your exhale. And on your inhale, reach your left hand up to the sky. Same thing, bringing that right knee into the right arm. Exhale, place down. We'll go for two more each side, stretching out through the body. Inhale, reach up. You might feel a little burn here through the shin. Last one, inhale. Exhale, place down. Coming onto your knees towards the back of the mat. And we're just going to do some wrist warm-ups. So bring your hands to the sort of like 2 fingers, 3 fingers apart. Fingertips facing towards the outer edges of your mat, eyes of the elbows forward. Just going to gently rock from side to side. Pushing into the ground, gently gripping the mat or your floor. Whatever you're choosing to practice on. And as you come over to the left hand side, bring your right hand up. Place your right hand so the fingers are facing forward. Rock over to the left. And then do the same, and do the same with your left. And we're just going to do the same. So every time we rock over to one side, we lift the hand of the opposite side up. And we're just going to start internally rotating the hands in until you reach maximum capacity. And then we simply go the other way. So nice and slow, you're just pedaling out the hands, rotating the shoulder girdle at the same time. Internally rotate them in, and then we're going to come back to neutral. Sit back onto the toes, stretch the toes out by sitting on them, heels up, shake out the wrists, place the hands down, grab a nice grip into the mat, make sure the shoulders are over the hands, and the hips are over the knees. And we engage and bring the knees up just 1 inch, and we're going to hold this hovering tabletop. So make sure the navel's into the spine, and just hang out here and breathe. You don't want to arch the lower back, you kind of want it as neutral as possible. Keep pushing into the ground as well, you don't want to collapse the shoulders. And we're going to begin to crawl forward. So you want to sort of bring your right hand, left foot up at the same time and place them down at the same time. And we're doing something called bear crawls. You want to keep the spine as straight as possible, nice and controlled through the core, and then we reverse, come back. Now obviously I'm on camera, so I can't go as fast forward as you can. You can go as far as you need to go. And you just keep crawling. Left hand, right foot, right hand, left foot, and back. Or forward. Try to keep the spine straight. No putting the knees down just yet. I'm going to do one more forward. And one more back. End up at the back of your mat, drop the knees down, keep the hips stacked over the knees, extend through the hands, coming into a nice puppy pose. So you want to have the hips stinking up to the sky, eyes of the elbows rotating inwards and upwards, gripping into the mat at the top, and sink your chest down. And breathe in to the room you're creating in your upper back and through your thoracic spine. Gaze between your hands, lower the elbows to the ground, pull your chest through, coming into Sphinx Pose. So up on the forearms. It's a nice and relaxing start before we get into it. Feet nice and wide, squeeze a gentle engagement of the glutes, pull the chest through, drop the shoulders down your back, stretching out the stomach, abdominals. You can either swing from side to side. Take one more cleansing breath before we start really exerting. And as you inhale, come up, forearm plank. So push into your elbows, bring the navel to the spine, squeeze the glutes, raise your knees up by engaging your thighs, doming the upper back, and hold, hang out. You don't want the hips up here or down here. You want them at a nice neutral level, so it's sort of as close as you can to as straight as you can. But at the same time, you want to engage the glutes, so if they're a little bit lower, that's fine. Make sure that engagement's there, and hang out. Make sure the shoulders aren't up by your ears. You want to pull them down a little bit. And we're going to come into an extended plank. So at the same time, we want to raise the elbows off the ground and then push into the hands. So your hands are probably slightly off the mat or on the mat, but make sure the majority of your hand is on the mat. It makes it a little bit easier for grip purposes. If you've got a hardwood floor under you anyway. And then push into the hands at the same time, rise up, extended plank. Lower down gently, just before they touch the ground, push back up, extended plank. Forearm, extended. Forearm, extended. Stay with the breath. And I know it's challenging on the core. That's good. That's what we want. 3, 2, 1. Now, slowly move your hands back to your first high plank. Pull the shoulder blades down, bring the hands to the feet to the hands. Externally rotate the shoulder blades. Engage the core. Nice protracted shoulder blades. We're going to shift the weight forward. and begin to lower down to our bellies, nice and slow. Keep the engagement in the glutes, in the legs. Bring the elbows into the side body. Still lowering. Nice and slow. Breathing throughout. Not yet touching. Shift a little bit more forward. Lower down to your chest. Extend your arms out in front of you. Make sure the tops of your feet are in the ground. You're going to have the navel stuck to the spine. You're going to place your thumbs up. So you're sort of at a Y angle. Thumbs to the sky, clench your fists. Place your head onto the mat. It makes it a little bit easier. You want to contract your shoulder blades together. And lift your arms up. 1. Squeeze the glutes. 2. 3. 4. 5. Just raising up and lowering down. Inhale up, exhale down. I've lost count, so we'll go for 5 more. Just strengthening the back, keep the engagement in the glutes. 4, 5. Lower back down. Bring the hands under the shoulders, and we're simply going to roll over onto our backs. Now, set yourself up for bridge pose. So, make sure your fingers can touch your heels. Lower back into the ground. At this time, we're going to raise that right leg up to the sky, and we're going to do 1 leg bridge. So squeeze in, push that left foot down, raise up, squeeze the glute, and lower back down. 2, 3, as you get to the top, really push into that glute. 4, flex the foot on the right side. It's always just a nice habit to have, even for other poses if you're not using it now. 7, lower back down, place your right foot to the ground, raise your left leg up, and we're going on the right side. Push into the right foot, drive to the sky. 1, 2, 3, inhale up, exhale down. Last one. Lower back down. From here, we're going to again bring the right foot up. This time extending the left foot away from you. And we're going to raise our chest up. So you want to bring your chest towards your knee. Flex the right foot. Bring your left arm outside your right leg. Raise your right shoulder up off the ground. You don't want it down here. You want to feel nice engagement through the side core and the front abdominals. Hold, flex that right foot, lower the right foot, raise the left foot, and simply switch over to the other side. Then go for 1, 2, 3, remember to breathe. 4, don't let that right shoulder stagger. 5, or that left shoulder for that matter. 2 more on each side. Keep that lower back into the ground. Bring your knees into your chest. Gently rock back and forth. Coming up, and we'll spin this way into a chair pose. So you want to sink the hips, create a good foundation in your feet, reach your arms up, overhead, the best you can, extend, sink a little bit lower, coming up onto the tiptoes, and lower back down. Just some nice gentle calf raises. 3, 4, 5, nice and controlled. gripping into the mat with your feet, your toes. Bring the navel to the spine. And smile. 5, 4, and it gets harder as you get towards the end. 3, 2, try to keep it smooth. Last one. 1. Take that forward fold, well deserved. And this is where we come back to the beginning again. Extend the feet out either side. And we're going to start going into the rocking into the hips and seeing how you are. So your feet may want to splay a little bit open if it creates a little bit more mobility for you. And if you think to yourself after a couple of sways from either side, I do feel a bit more open, I can take my hands off the mat and start getting deeper into the hips. Do so. And if you have your hands on the ground because you are still feeling a little tight, that's perfectly fine as well. Just have some fun with it. Don't take it too seriously. Last one over to the left. Coming up. Instead of the standing wide-legged forward fold, we're just going to heel toe the hands in, lower down, and take a seated wide-legged forward fold. Extend the feet out to either side, straighten up through the back, flex through the feet. And as you exhale, gently fold and settle into the hips. Flex the feet. Make sure them toes are pointing backwards. It helps with the knee joints. And just take a nice 2-3 breaths to come back to normality. If your heart rate's been elevated, if it hasn't, then well played, sir. Come back to seated. Sit in nice cross-leg position. And place your left hand on top of your right knee. Place your right hand behind you. And take a gentle twist. Gazing over the right shoulder. As you inhale, lengthen. Exhale, sink into the pose. Come back to center and simply switch the grips. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, sink into the pose. Come back to center. I hope you enjoyed this class. I hope I'll catch you in the next video. It was fun working with you today.